Alden Schaub, parking lot.
We got it all.
No, are you kidding? You fucking piece of shit. Fucking ass. Alright, whatever.
Got a little duct tape on there.
Oh, she's heavy, huh?
I don't know if I know that, this is my power lift.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know about this. No. It's not really working for me.
Just got, like you got a log, like you do in the Marines.
Okay. I feel like
Would you go off right there?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's better back here, baby.
Would be better.
Yeah, that'd be fun if we just slather ourselves up in sewage and we did sludge Canoecast. A little more, a little. How we doing?
I think really I should be on that side.
You think?
Yeah, it's got more buoyancy,
That one is towards the maybe you would be better in this seat.
I think because there's more buoyancy on that side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this seat is also more towards the middle.
Right.
Okay, should we try that?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, so does it. I got you, baby. I got you.
There we go.
Mommy's got you.
Nice.
Yeah, that feels better, I think.
I get over to this side. All right, there we go.
I think that's just science.
Yeah, that looks more even.
Should we set sail?
Let's do it. There we go.
Keep our balance. Woo! No turning back now,
That's
baby.
it. We're in it.
What's that?
I'll say we're in it.
Woo!
Feeling my abs working.
Yeah, trying to stay afloat. See, you can see how if it was a little less windy, it would maybe.
Oh,
There's a bit of a current.
we're people who go into the face of danger,
Can I offer you a beverage?
Sure, yeah, what do you got?
I've got this Mosaic IPA and a Hop Skinny low calorie IPA.
Ooh, I'll take the Mosaic.
This is water.
Very good.
Never had box water or just water.
Maybe I have.
Huh?
I don't know if I have or not.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Box
It was
water.
in my fridge.
Well, that's cool.
So, what's the story behind that?
Fridge. Could be from anywhere. Well, I've had sake in a carton before. Ooh,
Whoa. Party foul.
polluting the lake.
That was, that must have been getting jostled as we got the canoe here.
Probably the portaging, yeah. I would think.
The portaging, did you say?
Hmm?
Wait, so do you have much experience, nautical experience, river, aquatic?
Yeah, I grew up on a lake. So, we were swimming pretty young and then kayaking and canoeing, and everybody seemed to have a boat,
Yeah.
Jet skis.
You got a little beer froth in your mustache.
Oh. I don't even use beard oil. Just use beer,
Ooh, beard oil. That's something.
That's probably a thing.
Yeah. It's just called beard oil, but it's spelled BEERD.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, you have a beard. That's cool.
I shaved it maybe a year ago, and then Tina was like, "You should grow it back." She's like, "When I met you, you were a cool beard guy,
And now you're a lame, bald-faced
Just
guy.
a regular Austin standard now."
It's funny because I met you without the beard.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a point where I saw a picture of you with a beard, and I was like, that's Alden? He seems so tough, but he's nice.
Oh, it's gotten to the point now where people will say, "Hey, I'm sure you could kick my ass," and I'm just like, "Oh, it's the beard. Shoot."
Do you like that?
I don't know, not really. I mean, it isn't my intent to set out to be intimidating, but I just think.
You're just trying to please your woman.
Well, that, and also when I moved down here, I just thought, it's pretty common to have a beard, and so what are the opportunities to have one? If I move somewhere else, if I have a different kind of a job, I maybe wouldn't be able to have one in the future.
Yeah.
Well, so I might as well have one now,
Right. People still do that? Certain jobs, you can't have a beard?
Well, it's not that they will say it explicitly, but they'll kind of not hire you, or it'll be harder to get work.
Right.
It's like kind of a soft way of censoring you out of it. Or
sometimes women feel like they have to wear makeup to get jobs.
Oh, I think that's probably true. It's not like they're going to say, "Oh, this didn't have enough makeup on," but they'll they'll just pass you over. I mean,
didn't quite meet the makeup quota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's so much that you can think about, and this happens in comedy. It happens in everything. If you can think about, should I wear this? Should I look like this? Does this matter? You can't do that. You gotta look like. And that can be overwhelming if you spend too much time thinking about that. So there's part of me that's like, you got to be strategic about certain things, but then there's part of me that's just like, I just don't even want to think about that. I just want to be me.
Well, the reason I shaved it off was Ralphie May. I watched his video, and he was saying, "You don't think I'd like to have a beard?" I had to get rid of it because so much of comedy is your face, So I just shaved it off like that week, But then I was like, oh, I don't know. I kind of miss it too a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Yeah, see, because I always think like these big comedians, like a Ralphie May, was going to be Ralphie May whether he had a beard or not. Like, what in the alternate reality where Ralphie May has a beard the whole time, how is his life different?
Well, he would probably figure he wasn't as funny. Once he decided that he wanted to be as funny as possible, he wanted to take every measure to do it, in my thing. So then, if it means you lose the beard, then that's, in his view, probably worth it. Like,
I guess, yeah, maybe it's just like a confidence thing too. Like if you do these little tricks, like it's just like, baseball players who are superstitious. It's more just about getting you into the mentality that this works, I guess, to feel your most confident.
Well, also, if you're going to be an actor, you got to have a clean face. Like, even here locally, I was working with a 48-hour film project, and one of the things they asked me was, well, are you willing to shave, And I said, well, yeah, if it's a matter of getting into a little film or something. So, I mean, I don't know. As a performer, you'd have to make some sacrifices, I guess.
Right.
I mean, on the local level, I don't think it really matters. I mean,
but I think beards are becoming more in. Like, if you looked at old 1920s films, or did they have films back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more mainstream now for sure.
To have a beard, like it's with the time. Like we'll look back on this time and be like, oh yeah, everyone had a beard. Like it's like,
yeah,
it's like a thing.
Well, I just can grow a nice one. So then, of course, once I grew it out fully, I was like, oh, I like it,
But I mean, do ladies like the beard? Do most ladies like a little bit of facial hair, or what do you think?
Not really. It's funny that some do and some don't. I think it makes me look older, I guess, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a deal breaker for some women.
Manly, like, yeah, I don't know. Women's taste in men is like sometimes confusing to me, because like partly you think that women are attracted to like a girly boy looking guy like Justin Bieber, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
And then partly you're like, oh no, they like a big Jason Momoa, burly, manly man. The Rock.
Well,
it's like there's so much variation.
Well, I kind of think this is true for men or for women, whatever your orientation. If you sat down and wrote out a list of the things you thought were attractive, and then you saw somebody and you were attracted to them, the list wouldn't be the same. You have an idea of what you want in a sense, and society is also telling you that. And then when you meet somebody, all that goes out the window, and it's something different, I think. In my experience, you could write, oh, this is what, I want.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, you just meet somebody and it just sort of works out. I don't know, like.
Right.
There's so much more going on chemically or whatever it is.
You're like, that was a train.
Oh yeah.
It interrupts sometimes. Usually I put the ad breaks in when the train comes.
Yeah, you should get a sponsor.
Do you think I could get a sponsor?
Dude, I got a sponsor. It's easy. What
Really?
you do is, yeah. So do you know what an in-kind sponsor is?
In kind?
Yeah.
No.
So they just donate stuff,
Really?
and then you call them your sponsor, and then you get more sponsors because you go, hey, I've got this as my sponsor, and they go,
Yeah. I thought about just like making up sponsors, like saying this podcast is brought to you by the new Apple iPad.
well, but it's like what would be easier to do as a local business who's like in the outdoors,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you could have, I mean, the rowing center there is a nonprofit, so it wouldn't be a good one, but like
Right.
there's probably a local something that's equivalent to an REI or like
Yeah.
even up there on 7th Street. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
There's like a little camping outfitters place that's a local one.
Right.
That would be the kind of thing to approach,
Yeah.
I mean,
But I just feel like I'm going to approach them and they're going to be like, dude, you got 7 views on your YouTube. Like, go fuck off.
well, that's how it starts. I mean, when I went to approach Bird's Barbershop to be the sponsor of Indian Roller Show,
Birds is a big deal.
yeah, and they didn't know what I had. I mean, I told them I was doing a comedy show. It's a
Yeah.
local comedy show. It's a showcase, and it's at a bar,
Mm-hmm.
and that was all they needed to hear, really, because they just probably have a mandate that they're going to put so much money into local stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
so they donate 10 haircuts every month,
Right.
and then I give them away, and then they're my sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. I mean, because then people are likely to tip more during the show.
Yeah, but I also got there's part of me that wants to do ads and sponsors, but then there's part of me that's like, no, baby, I'm rock and roll. I'm never having sponsors. I don't care how big this podcast is. I'm never selling out.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there's different ways to do
I'm
things.
not a fucking sellout, Joe Rogan.
Well, you got to decide for yourself, what you're trying to do. Like, for me, my kind of goal is that I don't want to work. So
Yeah, that's true.
then I have to make some concession somewhere,
Yeah,
So for me, it's like I do the trivia, and then I
right.
try to get a little bit paid for producing shows, and then you move in with your girlfriend. I mean,
It's freaking awesome. Yeah. I mean, you're making it happen, though, right? It's like crazy to think about. When did the comedy dream come into the idea? When did comedy come into your life? Because I've heard you say to me before, Nico, I had a entirely different life before comedy.
that's true. Yeah.
That got me a little chubbed up. I was like, whoa, he's what kind of man is this man?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know if I was gonna ever do comedy like as a profession, But I was like, even when I was really young, probably in middle school, I started reading Mad Magazine. I mean, and that was a huge influence as far as
Oh yeah, little freckle guy,
with Alfred E. Newman.
Doogie Howser.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
I used to read that all the time.
Really?
Even really probably before I should have been, and like my thought was always, okay, there's a joke here and I'm not getting it for some reason. I'm just not able to understand it.
Yeah.
So that was always my thing. I got to understand these jokes. I feel it was sort of like an intellectual thing. Like
Right.
there's something funny here and I just don't get it because I'm a kid or whatever. And so I would sit there and read it until I understood the jokes,
Yeah.
And then, I just did like all kinds of other things, but I don't know, the idea of actually performing for a living, I didn't even get that idea until I started doing trivia shows, but
And when did that come about? Was that back in Traverse City?
yeah, I've done that. That was maybe like, I've been hosting trivia almost 10 years now.
Hey, stay with me. Don't lose me now.
Yeah.
I need you.
I was like, no, it's all
I
right.
can't quit you.
It's funny, I actually went swimming yesterday, but
You did?
yeah, they got a pool at the place I'm living.
Not today, though.
No.
You ain't swimming today. Because if you swim, I swim. And I don't want to swim.
Right. You can swim, it's fine. No, but
Can
I
you swim?
Oh yeah, I probably could swim when I was 4. I don't know.
Good swimmer?
Oh yeah, I swim laps for fun.
What's your stroke?
I don't know. I just do like the freestyle, I guess.
I would ask for a little demo, but I think that might.
I don't know. I could get back in here without getting everything wet.
The wake, I don't know what this wake is. Like all of a sudden it got kind of bumpy.
Could be a
Feel
boat.
that?
Yeah, it seems a little choppy, I guess.
I want to take it back before trivia, because trivia happened.
Well, so when I was in college, I did a bunch of like public speaking type
God,
stuff.
these waves are outrageous. Oh, that's our first.
A little splashy.
We gotta pay attention to this. Whoa.
I think you got to
You
steer
see what's
into
going
it.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta turn. I gotta head into it, right?
Head into it, yeah.
This is like the Titanic.
Head
If
into
they
the
wouldn't have
storm.
turned,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have sunk.
Right.
We
Oh, there we
tried
go.
to turn.
That's much easier.
No, but this is weird. Like all of a sudden, it turned into like a roller coaster out here.
Well, we could go park it. There's probably less along the shore. Like,
I mean, can you imagine if we sunk the boat?
yes.
I can too.
I'd be fine.
No, it would be fine. It's all just stuff, dude. I'm learning to try to let go of my stuff and just like not even like care about stuff.
Well, that is important, I think. Like,
Technology is really starting to piss me off, dude. I just want to throw it. Like, I just don't even.
perfect.
I'm gonna hold this down, baby. Hey, you ain't going nowhere.
For the lifestyle that we're gonna lead as comics, stuff is a hindrance. I mean, really, I'm more interested in experience and meeting people and
Yeah.
just, like, going places.
I mean, don't you look back on the old days of when you could just do stand-up comedy? You didn't have to sign up for a mic online. You just showed up. You saw a flyer somewhere, and you just figured it out and met people, and you didn't have to worry about posting a TikTok or freaking making an OnlyFans. You just did it.
Well, I didn't do it during that time, so I have no idea. But like,
Right, me neither. But I'm saying, don't you kind of envy that time? Those people who were going on Johnny Carson or whatever, and just
not really.
not that many people knew about comedy as well, or that you could do it. Like, it was like just
Yeah.
by trying it, you were already one of the best comedians.
But it was way harder. It was way easier in the sense that there was maybe less competition, but there was
Right.
way harder in the sense that it was harder. There were less venues. There
Right.
were less avenues.
Right.
You had to meet the right people. That's still true a little.
Yeah, there
But,
was
like-
more of that bullshit.
but
At least
now-
now you can make it yourself a little easier.
Right. You can have. I think the model has changed. Instead of you trying to be known nationally or whatever, you're trying to be known to your particular fans. So like, you don't have to do certain things that you had to do before. Like, yeah, obviously we were talking, like when you had Casey on, you're saying, man, if you got on late night, that was it. You were in. That doesn't exist anymore. But also that was harder to get than people
Right.
would think. So now it's like harder to get known, but you don't have to be known to everybody. You just have to be known to a small, your fan base, and that's it.
Right.
Like I have a trivia on Monday, and it's very popular. Almost nobody knows that I do that outside of comedy and stuff. Like,
That's at the Barton Saloon?
yeah, I literally call it unknown trivia because I think it's so funny
Right.
that it's like not
Haha.
you can't even tell what's going on when you're not there. I mean,
Yeah.
so like those people are enough to allow me to not work. I mean,
Right.
I'm selling enough beer at that show that they want to pay me. I mean, that's all that matters there. I mean,
That's hot. So you feel like you made it in a way.
well, yeah, like, a lot of comics get into comedy. They don't know what they're getting into, I think. They want to do it. They have a desire and stuff.
No.
But before I got going on it, I was like, man, I should read about it and see, what you're getting into here. And, like, if you read biographies of comics, a lot of them have the same kind of a story. They were like a 10-year overnight success, And they went for 10 years of just, like, obscurity and not being known and not making any money and, like, wishing that it was better or whatever. And that was a pretty clear pattern. I mean, that 10-year number gets thrown around a lot,
Right.
So I was just like, well, does that sound good to you? Are you going to do 10 years of something? And then at the end, you don't know if you'll have anything, and also you'll be poor the whole time? And I was
Depressed.
like, well, I don't get depressed down here with the sun, But no. But really, a lot of people don't sit down and think that that's what's going to be,
No. They don't know it takes 10 years. Or
I
they're
think-
not willing to put in 10 years.
Well, a lot of people are not. They're aware intellectually that that's a thing you're going to have to do maybe, but it's hard to really do it. Like,
It's also hard when the general population doesn't think that it takes that long. Like when you think about the people who aren't comedians, family pressures that from other people, and they're like, oh yeah, you're doing comedy, like you've been at it for a year, why aren't you on David Letterman yet or whatever, you know?
I don't have that kind of pressure because my whole family lives up in Michigan, and I just decided I was going to do it. And so then, but it was hard to decide to do it because it is a sacrifice,
But would you feel more of those pressures if you were still in Michigan and they were around you more?
I wouldn't be able to do it. I would, people view you a certain way where you're from. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to break out of that. Like, on a Wednesday here, I can do an open mic. At a Wednesday there, I would be at Dollar Pint Night because that's what I always did. I mean,
Because all your friends were there?
yeah, but also you fall into kind of a pattern.
Right.
So then you're just like, well, that's what I do on that day.
Yeah.
So, when you move somewhere, like I know you said you moved from California, like
Right.
when you moved here, you're able to change your whole life pattern and what you want to do.
Yeah.
And there's less resistance, I mean.
Can you move your mic down just a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Because we want to see your beautiful face.
Getting in the beard.
Yeah. Hey, it's not that kind of show. Please.
Oh, right, you're right.
Please, please.
It's ice cream.
I'm going to lose sponsors if you keep doing that. Bird's Barber Shop is not going to be okay with.
They've been pretty supportive. Yeah, every week every month they just send more haircuts.
I mean, feel free to throw an ad in for Bird's Barber Shop right now if you want.
They have a wide demographic of people with hair, and that's who I entertain. So, Bird's Barbershop.
You get trimmed up at Bird's Barber Shop?
Well, I used to get my hair cut at Agabar. Agabar would cut mine, but he moved out of town.
Oh,
so
yeah. Where's Agabar?
He's a trucker now. Yeah.
Dang.
He joined the fleet or whatever. And
The fleet. I guess that's probably what they call it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He said they recruited him, and he's going to make a bunch of money. So I said, hey, that's cool.
I mean, you ever think about selling out and just being like, just cashing in, being a trucker?
Not really. I mean, I've had a lot of jobs, so I don't need to get another one. Like,
You've lived that life.
Yeah, like I've done every kind of job. Banquet waiter, I've worked at a pawn shop, a ski bum, I worked
Pizza
on a
man?
cherry. Yep, I delivered pizzas. Worked on a cherry farm, just like
Cotton candy guy?
I did that one time actually at Tina's Montessori. Yeah, just one day,
Yeah.
But it's like you can always get a job,
Right.
Now, I'm not to say that not working is easy either, because I'm not making a full income, probably about like half or 2/3 of one, but
Yeah.
these guys are coming right for us.
But you're making a full income in the heart, or you're making a full mental income. Or
Sure.
People think about the monetary income. They don't think about the love income or the.
Well, yeah, if you think
passion
about
income.
fulfillment, my fulfillment wallet is certainly full. I mean,
We're kind of going this way right now. I just realized, just to pause.
Oh, sure.
So just let me know if we're gonna hit a kid or anything.
Oh, okay. I think we're pretty clear right now, but it does seem like people are
They're flocking out.
they're here now. You know what's really funny? I was thinking about it. We were originally going to meet at 2,
Yeah.
We would have missed that parade completely.
That's true.
So trying to be more organized has actually hindered the thing.
Wow. Yeah, I was like, let's get up early. Let's do it. Be more proactive.
There seems to be in comedy, I'm noticing a resistance to organization. And I'm not sure why that is, but it frustrates me sometimes. But I just realize that it's part of the nature of the beast.
Yeah. In what way?
Well, you'll book somebody, and then the day of, they'll get a better show, and then they want to do that instead, and they'll call you, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not feeling good or whatever. It's like, I get it. You want to be on this one, but there's no accountability. Or even when I organize the list at an open mic, people get mad if I don't give them their spot, but then if they aren't there for their spot, I can't get mad at them.
Right.
So it's very strange. I mean,
Yeah, dude. I mean, some of that stuff turns me out. I'll be honest. You got open mic. There's a whole nother side of it, of just being funny, and there's a very selfish side of comedy, self-serving side.
sure.
There's advantages to helping other people out, and even at the whatever mics, there's bumping and there's I don't know. How do you feel? But I also get it from the side of you want to help your friends out, and you got a buddy who's I got to make this before that, and you want to help them out. But there's also part of me that's this is an open mic. Why you can miss an open. You don't have to hit every single open mic. If you missed your spot, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And you're taking time away from other people. It's like, how do you feel about it?
People have asked me how I manage the list at the open mic at the Lucky Duck.
Right.
And
people have gotten mad at you before.
Constantly.
Right?
Every week. Somebody gets mad and I get stressed out, you know. But, like, there's a reason why I do it the way I do it.
And what is the way you do it?
Well, the way I do it is I want to have an audience. So the audience is more important than the fairness or the people who show up. Because you've got an option. You can go to 8 other mics that night.
Right.
So which one are you going to pick?
So you think of it somewhere in between a traditional open mic and a show. You're in between where you want.
Sure.
You're not just. It's not just a spot for comics to try things out and get better. You see a.
Well, no, it is that. I want that.
But
to
it's
be,
also something else.
No, but so what I want to make available is the most valuable time as an open mic. So, like, you as a comedian, as an open mic comedian, let's say you're just getting started, it's hard to get in front of a real audience.
Right.
So, like, a lot of the open mics don't have one. They have mostly other comics who are not always a good audience, you know. So my thought was, okay, what really is important for this mic to be successful is to have a good audience.
Because that'll be beneficial for the comedians.
So yeah, then you can actually test your jokes out in front of people and you can actually test them.
Right.
So to me, at first when I was doing it, I thought the fairness, that's the most important thing.
Right.
Fairness and transparency is the most. But then I thought, well, then the Romo room, which we were both at, you know, that was the most fair and most transparent, and there was never an audience there.
Right.
Because people would come for their spot only, and they would leave. They wouldn't wait at all. Like, if you know you were going to go up at 7:10, you'd get there at 7:09, and you'd leave at 7:16, you know. So, like, that was a good idea on paper, but then it didn't really produce what we really need to perform as the audience. So I put the list together in a way where I feel like it's going to produce an audience. Now, also, there's just foot traffic at the Lucky Duck, so that's like, it'd be hard for me to screw it up at this point.
Right.
You know. But
so are you having second thoughts about how you run it? Do you think about running it a different way?
I've thought about it, and I've just realized that there's no good way to do it. That no matter what system you put in place, the comics are just by their nature going to try to game the system, you know.
Yeah. But you're in control if they can game it or not, right?
Well, sort of.
I mean, you could be a hard ass and like I get, you probably got some bigger comics who come and want to bump and do spots, but then there's people who think they're on a certain level that they're not, and they still want to be treated like.
Well, everybody gives me a special circumstance on Wednesday of why they need to go immediately and why they can't come to the lottery and, you know, whatever.
Not me.
Yeah, but I realize that that's just like part of it, and that's my job as the host is just to kind of like figure it out, you know.
Yeah, but do you ever get somebody who comes and says, "Hey, I got to do this," and you're like, "Dude, you suck." No.
Well, it's hard for me to evaluate whether the requests are real or not, and so I don't bother. My goal is to get them away from me so I can write tags, you know. Like,
yeah.
That's really why I like to do it, you know. I don't really necessarily care who goes up in what order. I want to fill the 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I want to write tags for people.
So wouldn't it be beneficial at this point to just say no bumping at all? We got a hard set list.
It would cut back on the number of people. Some people won't wait, you know.
But you want people there.
Well, yeah. So like
But also some people leave because they're like,
that happens
I'm too late.
Yeah, and also they need to be more insistent, which is unfortunate too. Like some people get passed over because they're too polite, you know. And the people, yeah, people that are like just willing to kind of sit back are getting passed.
Right.
So it's not.
So you want me to show up and be insistent?
Yeah, I want. Well,
you want me to strong arm you?
Yeah, because I feel like that's necessary in this business. The people who wait in line are not going to make it. You have to just like literally tell people it's your turn, you know.
Damn.
I mean, although that bothers me and it makes my life difficult, I do think that's necessary. I mean.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because it's not fair, but also this whole business is not fair. I mean.
Yeah.
No one's going to tell you it's your turn. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to think about it more. It's interesting. I mean, you're making me think about it in a different way.
Well, just think, like, no one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, the Canoecast is going good. Here's $1,000. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to figure out the way to make it be what you want.
Yeah. But there's also an element, you have a certain viewpoint of this, but there's people who don't have the same viewpoint who, being that proactive guy who doesn't take no for an answer, who's insistent, can turn some people off from.
Yeah, there are people who I will not name who I view as too insistent.
Right.
I still put them on, but they get into trouble in other places.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a balance to it.
Yeah. Well, and two, I also thought I would get booked a lot more from hosting, but it doesn't seem to be the case,
Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about too. It's like, you maybe you're too much of the polite side on the bookings, as a booker and as a host, right? Because you kind of have that. You're polite. You want to help everybody out. Everybody can.
Well, also, I want people to feel welcome there. It's sort of a mic that's geared for beginners,
Right.
or like intermediate. It's not for the expert. Like, it's a 4-minute open mic.
Uh-huh.
So I want to cater to people that are within the first year to 4 or 5 years, And then after that, it's not really worth it for people beyond that.
People still come beyond that.
Yeah, and they like it because, again, I've got a crowd, and,
Yeah.
I try to bring in a guest host and stuff. But, other hosts are not the way they don't do it the way I do it.
Right.
But also, they don't have to fill 6 hours.
Yeah, I'd be down to guest host sometime if you ever need a guest host.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll put you on I put up people on, I think you could do it in the middle of, it'd be the first week in May, I think. I'll have to look at the calendar, but. And I just put people on for a couple hours. I just tell them, hey, you don't have to follow the list or do anything you want. You go mad with power, you put up whoever you want, or you can follow it. And then they figure out pretty quick that people will get furious. I mean, which I think is funny, but
Yeah. But don't those furious people need to be shut down? They need some of that in their life.
I don't know.
I
ultimately think that feeling of that insistence, it will serve people in the long run. Even though it's sort of unpleasant, that is how you have to progress. I mean, you sort of have to tell people that you're going on. I mean.
So do you do that in other places?
Actually, I don't. I probably should.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you.
Well,
it's confusing because you're saying you don't get booked on as many shows as you thought you would for helping people out, but do you go up to people and be like, "Hey, I booked you on my show. Put me on."
I actually don't do that. I thought I just started my own show, So my sort of thought is that I just need to get better at comedy, and then I'll get booked more,
Right, but why don't you view it like that within an open mic? If you just get better at comedy.
I don't know. Maybe I'm putting a double standard in or something, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I see both sides of the pursuit, but it's.
If it was up to me, if I had the ideal open mic, especially at the Lucky Duck,
Yeah.
if everybody would stay for a half hour, I feel like that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't want people to sit there for 4 hours and just seethe, and they miss out.
People do that though.
Yeah, so I need to be more transparent on that part, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, you're maybe number 30. Come back in a couple hours. Don't just sit here. Go up to another mic or something and come back.
Right.
But I don't know. Everybody's got their view about why I'm an asshole on it. It's
I don't think you're an asshole.
Well, I try, but it's I haven't figured out a better way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, just me personally, I think there's probably a better way that you could do it. I think there's some great things that you are doing about it and a reason, like you said, why people want to come out to it. But I think there could be some tweaking.
Sure.
You took this over from Marty Clark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of just.
Well, they used to have 3 hosts do it.
Oh, okay.
And they'd have each guy do 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just well, I'll just host the whole thing. What do you think?
Right.
And he goes, yeah, go for it. And so then I was like, this is all right, because I have a lot of experience, again, from hosting trivia.
Yeah.
There's certainly a contradiction in there somewhere.
What? Yeah. I don't know. I feel I have multiple feelings about talking about your open mic through the whole podcast.
No, we don't need to do that, of course, but
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it's a conversation we need to have off air.
Sure.
But I do think it's interesting, and the whole dynamics of your mentality within comedy, how you navigate that, what you should do. you know, I feel the same way in a certain way of like, you know, I have people on my podcast and they don't book me on their podcast or their show and stuff. And then so I look inward and I'm like, oh, I just got to get better.
Well, and two, I have this idea that's sort of a little bit esoteric, but like, I view a comedy as sort of an entity in itself, and that if you contribute to the comedy community or the comedy as a thing, that it ultimately has to come back to you. Like,
Right.
if you're a contributor to comedy, then you will be rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to say how or why, but like, I don't know, it's like the law of reciprocation. Like, you know, so I think of myself like, my goal with different things is to contribute to comedy.
Right. Steward of comedy.
Yeah, that's something that Jeff Foxworthy said, you know, to be a good steward of comedy. You know?
Right.
So I think that's important. I mean,
I do too, but I don't always feel like the steward gets stewed back or whatever.
no, I think in the short run, maybe there are times where you feel like it's all in vain, but then,
Yeah.
you know, but this is a long time pursuit. I mean,
Yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like there's certain guys who they don't do any stewarding to comedy or give anything, and they just go around asking, gimme, 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 and then they get a lot of those things.
sure.
So it's like,
Well, they end up wearing out their welcome.
I guess, but not with you.
Yeah, I just say yes to everything so I can write tags, you know.
Yeah.
It's way faster.
Right. But wouldn't it be nicer in a perfect, wouldn't the ideal situation be everyone's just kind of polite and not
Sure.
annoying?
But then that assumes you're dealing with ideal people, you know.
Yeah. And I kind of want to push back on the mentality that if you just, you know, throw your dick out there, no matter what it is, eventually it'll get sucked or whatever, you know? Like I kind of want to give appreciation to the guys who just shut up and work on comedy and they don't ask for shit. Like there's some of those guys out there. I kind of want to,
Well, then those are the guys you support. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. But
I mean, think about it that way. Make the comedy you want to see and support the comedy you want to see too. I mean,
right.
I mean, I think part of the entire process, the open mic, is unproductive in a lot of ways, but it does make you a little more hardened to failure.
Right.
And that's, I think, the lesson from it. So, you know, you shouldn't do open mics forever, but like it is a necessary process, I think. I don't know, I haven't read about any, well, there's a couple exceptions, but most people that are successful in stand-up have had to go through this process. I mean,
Right.
so that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't always say it's been positive, you know, but I look
Yeah.
forward to hosting though.
I do too. I'm bummed that I don't host my mic anymore. I need to find a new spot to do a mic. I want to do a showcase. But I'm just so not business oriented. I got to set aside time to get out there and try to make something happen, find the right venues.
Well, you just got to find one that's close to your house, and then you go and talk to them, and you tell them that you're going to make money for them. I mean,
Yeah.
that may not be true in the beginning, but you just tell them, hey, it's going to take a little time to build up the audience, and then, well, like when I go to pitch a trivia show to a bar, you know, it's pretty easy. I just go, what are you doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? They're like, nothing. I'm like, okay, would you like to do something? And they're
Yeah.
like, well, yeah. Okay, I got trivia.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we know what that is. Yeah, we'll try it. So then, you know, then you get going on it. I mean,
And that's what you started doing in Traverse City.
well, I actually worked for a different company.
What'd you work for?
It was called Team Trivia of Michigan.
Okay.
So I hosted their games for like 4 years.
And how'd you get into that?
Dude, I was working at a convenience store, and the guy who was hosting trivia at the casino, he would come in, and we had exchanged dirty jokes for a while, because I was just bored, you know. And then one day he's like, hey, you're pretty funny. What do you think about being a host? One of the hosts is quitting, you know. I said, oh, yeah, okay. You know, if you like it, I'll it's probably for me, you know. And then I just started going, and then eventually I was doing 4 of those shows a week.
How long ago was this?
I started in 2014, maybe.
2014.
Was it no, probably earlier than that. 2012.
So up to 2012, there was no performing going on in your life, right? Or getting on stage, any of that business?
Well, I did a little public speaking. Like in college, I was the president of the investing club, And then I did a little bit of radio at the community college.
In Michigan?
Yeah, NMC, they got a local community college, and I was able to do the late night radio slot.
Yeah.
But again, it never dawned on me that I would do comedy necessarily. I just didn't think.
You thought you were going to be an investor?
Well, I thought I'd be doing business stuff.
Yeah.
I studied economics, and I went to business school, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
I just felt like a fraud. Like, people talk about what do you call it? Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Every time I put on a suit, I feel like I feel weird. Like, like it just isn't like I'm lying to people.
Right.
I don't like it. I mean, and so I found out it wasn't really for me. Like, even now, my business isn't really a business. It's a hobby business or like a lifestyle business.
Yeah, and you get to wear shorts and flip flops and have a beard.
I tell people I only drink at work. But again, it's not a full-time income, so there's like, but I have a lot of freedom as far as like because I do every part of it. I write the questions, music. I can select the venues I want to work at. I can tell jokes. And it's interesting to me to write questions.
Yeah.
Because I got to write a question that 4 people, one of them might know the answer to. So it's sort of specialized.
Yeah.
One, too.
Can you give me one?
Oh yeah. So I had this one that was very controversial.
Uh-huh.
This is a true or false. So whether or not raccoons have thumbs.
I'm gonna say no.
You're correct. Yeah, they do not.
Yeah.
So they do have 5 fingers.
Right.
But imagine if you just had another pinky here.
Right.
They are very tactile. But so I had a huge argument with the player. Because he's like, it doesn't matter if it's a thumb in function or if it's opposable even. It's a thumb based on position. The position of the finger defines the name. And so I had to look that up, And it was sort of a semantic argument, but like it was not right. I mean,
yeah, that's really interesting. But I think he's wrong.
He was ultimately wrong.
Yeah, thumb's not based on position.
Right.
Because you think about something else that has fingers. Can we give an example of something that has 5 or more fingers but doesn't have a thumb?
Well, raccoons are sort of unique. I don't know what other animal has 5 fingers without a thumb. Like, most primates have a thumb.
See, the thing for me is I think of it as a raccoon paw.
Right.
Like, how many, does a bear have 4 fingers?
So that'd be interesting. I should look into that, whether or not a bear has a thumb. Because they mostly...
Or a dog. How many fingers does a dog have? 4?
So a dog has a toe, but not a thumb.
Oh, right.
Because they have 4 feet.
Right.
But a good one is like, do horses have elbows?
No.
They don't, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So that was one that was questioned. People always liked that one.
Yeah. So I'm 2 for 2, so I'm pretty smart, would you say?
Good. You could win a lot of Barton Springs Saloon bucks.
Yeah. I like those because it's not necessarily you knowing, but those ones you gotta think about it and you could figure it out or not.
Well, and that's what I figured out about trivia, like as a business. I tried to do it online during the pandemic. It was a horrible failure.
Yeah, anything online, I mean.
But really, the value proposition of trivia is that you get to hang out with your friends for 2 hours, and I make you put your phones away.
Right.
So you're having a great time. You're actually conversing, and you don't get to see those people that often. Everybody's got kids and work and whatever, and so this is a time you can block off during the week and have fun with your friends. And I get some people who've come to all the shows I've done in 4 years, which is pretty crazy.
I mean, that really is what we're all looking for in life, right? Is a moment to escape the other bullshit that we don't want to think about.
Yeah.
We just want a little bit of an escape, whether you do drugs or marijuana or sex or stand-up comedy or trivia or run a marathon. It's just to get that escape, right? To be zoned into something, and that's when life feels the best, right?
I would say when you're in a flow state or when you're you're achieving at a high level. I mean, that feels good. I mean, or performing, I like the idea of making people laugh and have fun, Like, I personally don't think people are having enough fun in general.
No.
So if you can give people just a little more fun, they're real happy to do it. I mean,
I think people are like the most unhappy they've been maybe ever.
Sure.
Like as a collective. based on I mean, I don't know, maybe sometimes in like medieval times, or when they had like a black plague, or when they ran out of potatoes back in the day or whatever, maybe they were really sad. But I think that, yeah, I think it keeps people keep getting sadder or more depressed.
Well, and two, like if you haven't seen your friend in a while and you get on Facebook and you look at their pictures, then you kind of feel like you talk to them and you don't call them or see them. So
Yeah.
like we're getting more disconnected because we're giving each other these shortcuts, you know. So you're like, oh, I know what Jane's up to. I see, you know. But you're like, some of my friends that are having kids now, I haven't met their kids, and that's been like 4 or 5 years. It's like,
Yeah.
I see them online, I kind of know what they're up to, but like, you know, that's like not the same as being part of that community. I mean,
Yeah, we're not supposed to have that. Like, it's like teleporting in a way, like,
Yeah.
or reading people's minds. Like, we have too much power, or access to stuff that we shouldn't have as humans. So I think technology is a disadvantage in that way.
Well, and it's happened so quickly. You know, we're not adjusted to it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like you gave like monkeys iPhones and they haven't.
like everybody knows that social media is bad for you, but we can't stop. And then even like when I tell people to put their phones away during trivia, they look at me like I'm stealing from them or something. Like, you know, I'm just like, hey, this will make the game more fun. And they're just like, it's the dopamine, you know.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. Like, now some people, what I've actually done is I made an innovation in trivia that's like very, I think very cool, but it's the cell phone quarantine chamber.
Yeah.
And so it's like a big Tupperware,
Uh-huh.
and I put one at every table.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn us.
Oh, that's cool. So then that way people are more inclined to put their phones in that box, you know. And also the other friends of theirs that they came with sort of enforce it.
Yeah, I love that.
So then I'm not feeling like I have to be the phone police the whole time. Like,
I love that. I think, I mean, it's like in this world that we live in, you kind of get it's an advantage to have like a mind like you. Or it's just like you're automatically way more pleasant to be around than, you know, whatever percent of people, because, oh, we're shifting back. Doesn't want to go that way. All right.
well, and I have some advantages in that I'm able to control my time. So like I don't have to go to do a lot of things I don't want. I can take a nap during the day if I'm feeling a little crabby, you know.
Yeah.
I can exercise. Like I take a lot of time to manage my mood because
Right.
part of my job is to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
So I spend the time to like, I've learned how to manage my mood in a way that like, you know, when I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing performance wise, I'm in a good mood. You know?
Right.
And so then that's a thing, that's like a life skill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big advantage. I mean, so many people, they gotta be on their phones for work, or they gotta be on their laptop all day for work, so it's hard to separate that. Like, you're just used to it. It's like, you know, you're just doing it all the time, that it becomes a part of your system. But when do you get in a bad mood?
Oh, I don't know. Like if I haven't had my nap, you know, or if I'm just like, if I don't sleep enough, you know, if I'm in a bad mood, you know.
Do you get angry about like comedy, or frustrated about your shows or getting booked or any of that business, or are you happy and content in the spot you're in?
I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I mean, you know,
It's beautiful.
I'm doing a couple shows and like I'm getting better. You know, I know that I need to improve. Like, you know, I've got a lot of experience speaking, but I don't have a lot of experience making material.
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent a lot more time trying to write better and have, because I went a whole year of doing stand-up and I didn't have punchlines. And I was like, oh, now I know better, but how many other things am I not doing that I don't even know, you know? So like,
Yeah, you have a beard.
right. I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't even think to shave that. That was something that another, you know, Ralphie May had said. And like, I don't know. There's just so much. I mean, I'm improving, but like, I need to get a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, we're competing with the world. You know, we're not just competing with people in Austin. Like, you know, you want to be as good as you possibly can. I mean,
Are we competing with each other?
not really. Like, you know,
Are you supposed to be my enemy?
I wouldn't say that. Like, there's so many opportunities now. Again, that goes back to like,
Would it be advantageous if I killed you out here right now?
I don't know that you would gain. I mean, I suppose you'd get a little press from
I might be able to take over the Lucky Duck, Mike.
Yeah, but would you want to? It's my burden and it's my privilege. It's like it's a cruel mistress sometimes. Like,
I want it.
dude, you guest host sometime and see what you think after. Like I had a guest host. I won't say who, but he was like, "Wow, I don't want to do that again." Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, I get it because there is some stress involved, but
No, I'm going to be a hard ass about it. No bumping. I
Yeah.
say this now, but no bumping. Don't come up and talk to me. I'm working right now.
sure.
And it's going to, like, people are going to be like, dude, we want Alden back. Like, this guy sucks. And
No, you should stick to that and see if you can do it for the whole period.
there's some people that I'm going to be like, you're pretty funny. I think I'll let you go. But I'm going to try hard not to. But actually, no, I'm going to say, dude, no. You're already rich and famous, dude. Go do your show that you're doing. Why are you coming to the Lucky Duck, you freaking asshole?
Well, it's fun, network. And also it's kind of
Go
relaxed.
network then. Don't get on stage. Go network.
Yeah, but also like I feel like other places people are wanting to. They're more aware that they might get seen or something. Like they're not really testing out material like they can at the Lucky Duck. Like,
Right.
I mean, really, I have no restrictions on anything, and it's just free for all. I mean, so I like that. But
Yeah.
dude, like back to the idea of competing. You and I are not competing in the sense that like I'm gonna hopefully attract fans that like what I'm doing, and you will too. I mean, and they
Yeah.
may overlap and they may not. I mean,
Okay, I'll spare your life.
perfect,
I'm having a lovely time just being out here with you.
dude. It's fun.
It's
I lost my water,
It's kind of surreal.
dude. You know what's really funny? Jokes.
Do you think we got a little too serious?
I don't know. It's like that's
Should
another thing.
Should we start now? Should we restart?
No, I just think it's funny. Like, maybe we're the first generation where we're thinking about how we're being viewed. Like,
Yeah. Ah, that bugs me, dude.
well, and it's like
I hate that
I heard a quote sometime. It was like, when people ask you about what you're up to, like, and you tell them something that's bad, like, 80% don't care. 10% aren't listening. 20 to the other 10, they wish you bad. It's like,
Yeah.
that you just got to do what you want. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, to be free is so important. I mean,
Right.
and that's really what a lot of comics want. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's just what even if I wasn't pursuing comedy, I would want that. Like,
Yeah.
just to be able to just do the things I want and not have to answer to anyone. I mean,
Yeah. That's what I want too, but sometimes,
but it comes at a cost. I mean,
it does. But if you're truly free, then you don't care.
right? But I mean, but not to be a nihilist, but just to be free in the way that, like, you should be able to do the things you want to do.
Right.
And that's like again in Michigan, like I had certain expectations about who I was or what I was going to do, and then when I came down here, all that was sort of gone. So I was free to try to chart a course, but I didn't know what I was going to do.
Did you know anyone when you moved down here?
No, it's just me and my brother. We just moved down here. Yeah.
Who's your brother?
Oh, my brother Warren. Yeah, he lives in Michigan. Yeah,
Alden Schaub?
Yeah, I got two brothers there. Yeah. Gary and Warren. Yeah.
Really?
Huh?
Are you triplets?
No, I'm the oldest. They're Warren's 2 years younger and Gary's 4 years younger.
Ah, nice. I got two brothers too.
Yeah.
We got a lot in common. We both majored in economics.
Mm-hmm.
We both have two brothers.
Yeah,
I'm the middle though. You're the oldest.
that's true.
Dude, what are Warren and Gary like?
I don't know. Warren is pretty.
You guys close?
Yeah, pretty close. I haven't seen Gary in a while because he's again up in Michigan. Warren just came to visit recently, but yeah, he's pretty laid back.
You guys goof around and fart on each other and stuff?
Yeah, we went and played frisbee golf. Just like ate In-N-Out Burger and
Yeah.
just kind of sent some memes back and forth.
Love a good In-N-Out burger.
Oh yeah, it's good. I got a sticker on my car recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think In-N-Out's the best burger? What do you think?
I think so, for the money. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're gonna, I would say the El Camino burger is pretty good over at the
I've
casino.
been hearing about the El Camino burger.
I will say though, it takes a while. They will say that you gotta be patient, But
And it's probably like $12 though, right?
yeah, it's more. You can get in and out. You get a double for like $5 or something.
Yeah.
So that's way better. I mean,
That's what I always do. Whenever I see a burger on a menu somewhere, I'm like, really? I'm going to pay $14 when I could go get, 6 of these at In-N-Out for the same price? Like,
Well, and two, I don't get fries either. I just get 2 In-N-Out, 2 double doubles, and I get because it's I want the burgers.
The fries at In-N-Out, they could do some work. They could improve the fries at In-N-Out.
Yeah.
They're not the best fries in the business.
Well, because it's got to be everything's fresh and there's no preservatives. And
Yeah.
Stuff.
You got to eat an In-N-Out burger quick too, because those buns are not sturdy. You gotta shove that thing in your mouth as quick as possible.
High velocity burger.
So yeah, In-N-Out. That's interesting because In-N-Out doesn't exist. Is there something up in Michigan? What do they say in Michigan is the best burger?
I don't know. Not in Traverse, at least. There's not that many. I can't think of one that really stands out.
But people try to say like Whataburger, like what? Come on. It doesn't compete with In-N-Out, does it?
I don't think so.
No.
They're just proud of it because it's more local. But I wouldn't even say it's local. I mean,
in California, we got a spot called the Habit Burger. That's kind of like a California chain. I think it's pretty good.
Oh.
Have you had it?
No.
Come out to California sometime. I'll take you.
The Habit Burger?
The Habit, yeah.
Because it forms a habit?
I guess.
Because the nuns make it?
I don't know. The Habit. It's pretty good. In-N-Out. I wouldn't mind an In-N-Out burger right now. Ooh.
So good. Maybe they deliver it to the lake.
They don't deliver, do they? You got to get a Grubhub or something.
You got to get Favor and then tell them they need a jet ski. Tell me
Dude, that might be a smart move. On the weekends, so many people collect out here. If I had something to like sell, like even just like popsicles or something out here, like I could probably make some good money out here just canoeing around.
Yeah, bottles of water or something.
Bottles of water would be
real easy.
Huge.
Something easy, just get a little cooler or something.
Right.
Well, if you studied economics, what was your favorite part of that?
Oh, what's my favorite economic?
Like you said, I mean, everybody's got sort of a thing. Like I really liked the game theory stuff myself. But like,
oh, I loved game theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't thought about this stuff in so long. That was my favorite class was game theory. I don't even remember too much. Dude, that was the thing, like going to college, studying economics. I didn't learn shit. Like I figured out how to solve the class and learn what I learned, and then I just dumped it out of my brain when the class was over, So I don't know shit. And I'm kind of embarrassed in a way that I majored in economics, and I really don't know shit. I don't know shit about investing. I don't know what a cryptocurrency is. I don't know what to do with my Bitcoins. I don't know any of it.
Well, that's more
Stocks.
finance. I mean,
yeah.
Economics.
See, I thought that was economics. So there's the big.
Well, really,
that's how much you know that I know.
Economics is not a business discipline, really. It's more of a social science. I mean.
Right, exchanging of goods.
But more, it's like, what do you do? Like, I thought the best definition was, you have humans that have unlimited wants and limited resources. So what do they do under those circumstances?
Right.
It's more about behavior, I think.
They make an OnlyFans is what they do.
Yeah, if they got a rockin' bod, or if they just have a bod,
Yeah. Do you think you could sell yourself for sex?
Yeah, probably. I could do a beard video.
A beard video?
There's a market for everything, You just got to figure out how to market it.
Yeah. So what do you think about, like, moving forward? Like, you're running the trivia shows, you're doing your open mics, you got your show at Indian Roller. You're in the comedy scene. I was thinking about this the other day, like how cool it is just to be in a scene, like involved, and like if somebody were to go somewhere else.
Well, I guess my kind of next goal is to do a ticketed show.
Make that real money. Tickets at the door, baby, slanging tickets.
Well, like I'm gonna be living in Bee Cave now, so like I'd like to do a monthly where I could do tickets. But like I wanted to do that clean show.
We might live. Well, you live a little deeper in BK, but I live off BK Road.
Oh, so that's not that far.
So,
I see. Like my thought is, okay, people at Bee Cave need entertainment just like everybody.
That's what I was thinking too. But I was like, what? It's like they don't have the same bar situation that Austin has. You know?
But also they don't want the same kind of comedy.
Right.
So like that clean show idea I had is what I want to do out there.
Right.
Because that is more suitable for
families and stuff.
A lot of people are older, or they're retired, or they're more like, they have families. So like, my thought is to do maybe a monthly clean show.
Yeah.
And do the tickets,
Yeah, maybe throw in some "Let's Go Brandon" jokes. They might appreciate those.
Well, anything like that where it's just like more, I don't want to say tame, but it's more on the clean end,
Right.
because that's, and ultimately, like, I think as entertainers we want to give a product that people want. I mean, obviously downtown on 6, the dirty stuff is very successful.
Are farts clean?
The ones I do are.
Yeah.
They're kind of I always say that word wrong. A banal violation. That's not the right word though. Banal. Banal.
Right.
Well, and I had tried out a bunch of different sounds before the fart. I had just sounds of people vomiting, and that was too gross.
No, you can't be doing
Yeah,
that.
I had sounds of like turds hitting the bowl and stuff, and like
No.
it would trigger in a response that was gross.
PTSD.
Yeah, people were like, ugh.
Yeah,
and I'd see people physically recoiling, like, ugh.
Throwing up hurts. It's a painful experience to be, kissing the toilet seat.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It brings back a bad memory. But a fart usually feels good. Sometimes you get a sour one or a sharp one, but usually it's a release.
Yeah, and the ones I've got on the board are mostly silly. They're
Yeah.
just kind of silly. It's just sort of a punctuation.
Mm.
Well, they're fun. I mean, and the way that came about was sort of funny too, because like
Yeah.
I had never done a roast battle before, and they asked me to
Right.
be the DJ, and I was like, all right,
DJ Farty Fart?
pretty much DJ Flatulence.
The name's Lance. Flatulence.
Flatulence.
Yeah, dude, I tried talking about this on like stage before, and maybe I should try to rework it, but it like the idea of God, like God, do you believe in God?
Yeah.
He did some funny things. Like and I think his best comedy bit was creating the fart. Like he created the idea, he created the sound for air coming out of your butthole. And he chose a funny noise. He didn't have to do that.
Well, there's nothing intrinsically funny about it. We as humans find it funny. So why is that? Because it's sort of a slight embarrassment, I guess.
Right. So, but
that doesn't have to be the case, though. I mean,
yeah.
So we're making a little stink, and so then it's slightly embarrassing. So then, as a society, we've kind of decided.
I'm getting nervous about us right now.
Getting into the bush.
Yeah. Do you want to try to?
You're going into a little tree in a minute here.
Oh. Wait. Get us out of here. Please. Look
Here
at
we go.
those little turtles. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
That's the tiniest turtle I've ever seen.
Watch how there's a vine coming up. Oh, yeah, you're good now.
Did you see how small that was?
Dude, I actually saw a bunch of turtles the other day. They were kind of sunning. There must have been 80 of them.
Really?
And they're just like, I suppose they need that to get their heat,
Yeah, so do you think farts are funny because of what it is, and then we associate the noise with that funny thing, or do you think the noise is funny?
Well, I think it's the association.
Yeah.
Because you made, like, basically you're in a room that does not stink,
Right.
and then you made a stink noise.
Right.
And so then people are like, oh, now it stinks in here, and that's sort of silly, and then you're embarrassed,
Right.
But also, people don't understand this, but, like, I'll let you into behind the veil of the fart noise manufacturing. Yeah. So, like, the farts I'm making now are not just farts anymore. They're little jokes.
Right.
So what you do is you start out with a noise in the beginning that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
That's the premise. And then when you break it into a fart, that becomes a punchline. And then the space in between there is the subversion of expectations, like in a one-liner. So when I play like the Star Wars lightsaber, you know that noise even though you're not familiar. You would like
Right.
you're like, what does a lightsaber sound like? And you'd be like, whoosh, So then I found a fart that sounds very similar to that. It's sort of a long,
Right.
So then when you hear them together, it's really funny because like you hear the lightsaber that cuts into that farting.
Wow.
So then it becomes a joke. And so people are like, why is this funny? These are just farts. Like, well, no, structurally they're not anymore. They're like little jokes.
Yeah.
So that's fun and I wouldn't have been able to do that without studying the joke structure. I mean, because like you just think, because if you just play a fart, it's like swearing. It's just like a little expletive,
Right.
But this is different.
It's like you're creating a new language.
I kind of stumbled into it, but in a way, I'm applying that joke structure to these sounds, and it is making something unique. You know?
It's beautiful.
Well, and two, I don't know if you find this, but like there are people who are pretty funny, and then there's like creative types. You know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I fall into both groups. You know.
Right.
So like, yeah, I don't know if you know Dan Harmon. You know.
I'm really funny.
Yeah. But
You know that about me? I'm really I'm really funny. I'm really creative.
dude, every time you say, "What the fuck is up, Austin?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. That's one of my best jokes.
No, but it's funny because I've seen it so many times that like it gets funnier. I think.
Yeah. Well, but I think also people look at me like, ugh. Like, do you ever feel like that? Like some people are like, ugh, farts. Ugh. Oh,
Yeah,
this
well,
guy's doing farts.
But also, I think that they don't understand why it's funny in the way. Funny. I don't think farts are necessarily not funny on their face, but people would view it as sort of hack.
Oh, right.
But by the way I'm doing it now, I've sort of gotten into something that's a little more original.
Right.
So like, I don't mind starting out with something that's hack,
Yeah.
and then trying to make it into something original. You know.
Yeah.
But I have people roll their eyes a little bit, and then I'll just be like, "What about this one?" And eventually, I'll get them.
Right.
Which is funny. And then
You can hide from a fart for a few seconds, but eventually, if you keep throwing farts at them, they're gonna get hit.
But like, part of what makes people laugh is like, you as the performer think it's funny.
Right.
So like, it can be intrinsically funny, but also you're selling it in a way.
Yeah.
So if you think it's funny and you're projecting that, people will find it more funny generally.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm trying to focus on that so much. Like, I know that a lot of times I go up on stage and I look like a serial killer up there, and I'm just like too.
If you're too serious, people are like, unless you're trying to do that on purpose, but like,
yeah. I think it's like subconsciously they're like, is he serious? But they want to know you're joking and you're in on the joke and you're light and you seem like a nice guy.
you have to wink at them either verbally or with your body language. I mean,
Yeah. Or by unzipping your pants.
sure, that's a possibility. You know,
That's the new wink.
the ultimate punchline. The new wink is winky.
Wink with your wanker.
Give them what they really want. full dong. No, but again, I'm such a new person to comedy. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to learn just like anybody. But
Yeah.
hello, what's going on?
Hello.
We're doing a
Podcast.
podcast.
Thank you.
See, got another fan. You should put the QR code on the canoe. You know.
There's people taking photos of you. I don't know if you know, but you're kind of a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe in like 2 bars, but like.
Right.
But also, a lot of people think you have to become a famous person to be a comedian that's successful.
No.
That's absolutely not true. I mean,
yeah, most famous comedians are.
But fame is a thing that some people want, you know.
Yeah, I want to be famous so bad.
See, I don't. I mean, that's not what I
Me
set
neither.
out to do. I mean,
Me neither.
you're like, well, I changed my mind.
Yeah, whatever you say.
No, but really, like, when you think about what you're trying to gain from comedy, like, if there's a fulfillment component, obviously, but like, do you feel like you want to be a known person? Like I'll tell you, my goal is just to not have to work. And so I'm almost there now. Fame is not a component that matters to me. I mean, sure, it would benefit me in some ways, but also it's toxic in some ways. Like, but to achieve the goal of doing it for a living does not require fame, I think.
Right. That's like the goal of mine, is if I could just focus and just do what I want to do like that. But I think once you achieve, you know, you beat the level, you're like, I just want to beat this level. You're like, I want to get to the next level too.
Well, I of
Once
course
you
want to
get
get
there.
funnier, but like, if I produce like 1 or 2 more shows, I basically have got a full-time income. Like, you know, I'd be happy with that. I mean,
Right. Yeah, I would too. And it's so interesting, like, you know, that everybody gets sick of fame at a certain point.
Well, yeah, I think people want it again, but they don't know what they're getting into. Like,
I want somebody to walk up to me and be like, you changed my life. That fart joke that you did helped me beat cancer.
well, you'd probably be better off to stay in teaching then, you know. If you want
No,
that. I
dude.
mean, comedy people will go nice set, and that's about it. You know.
People look at teachers and they're like, this is sad.
Yeah, really. If you want
Where'd
to
you go wrong in life?
if you want to disappoint someone, do you tell them you're a teacher or a comic? Like,
The amount of I've gotten more disrespect as a teacher than a comic for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, kids are just ruthless, dude. You remember being a kid? Do you have any kids
No kids. Yeah.
that you know of?
No one's called me up and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you owe us." Just the IRS, you know.
It's a possibility. It could happen, right?
No, I don't think so. I've been relatively safe in the sex department, you know.
Oh, really?
Condoms and stuff.
Really?
Sure.
Hold on. Got to
Hmm?
change that battery really quick.
Oh, I hear it dinking. We're so fortunate here in Austin that we have things like this, you know, your podcast and like other open, like we have 10
Yeah.
open mics a night and just like showcases you can be on, and like it
Yeah.
seems to be like a real utopia of comedy. Like,
You're not in Traverse City anymore, baby.
yeah, and up there I would be able to do maybe 1 or 2 mics a week. I mean, and that's if the host and I got along. I mean, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, there's just not the
You didn't fuck
opportunities.
his sister.
Yeah, right. You don't know, you know, it's like, well, and two, there's all that pettiness and there's all this, like, yeah, I don't know. But so much of it is not knowable. That's what I
Right.
think people struggle with. Like, dealing with uncertainty is
Right.
hard. But I just know that if I continue to write and perform, opportunities will present themselves. I don't know what they're going to be,
Yeah.
but you know, if you put in the work, ultimately there will be opportunities.
The bottom line is just keep on trucking. It doesn't help. Like, I even kind of regret earlier when I said the best doesn't get the best or whatever. It's just keep rolling. Like, that's
Well-
where most people lose, is when they quit.
Skill will prove out in the end, I think, but there's a certain amount of randomness to it.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can't just say, like, I put in 1 hour writing, it's going to equal X. Like, no. It's like, I'm going to work on this until it works.
Right.
And I don't know what the opportunities are going to be. And I'm just going to do it anyways. Like, you know, you just have to harden your mind. Like,
And you just got to like doing it.
sure, if you didn't like it, you might as well get out.
Right.
It's like, the opportunities are definitely not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Nothing about it is. I mean,
But there's also a way to set it up for you to enjoy it more, like doing
Sure.
things that make it so it does, you know, finding the right balance, doing the things within comedy that you like, and
well,
setting it up for yourself to be at it for 10 years.
When I miss writing that, I miss that tag mic I used to run.
I do too.
Because that was like, I was like, okay, Alden, you don't know how to write a punchline. You better figure it out. I was like, okay, I'm just going to design a mic that I can just write punchlines all day. And that's what I did. And then I found out the first couple weeks it was kind of rough. And then after maybe the 8th one, I was able to crank them out, you know.
Yeah.
And it was great. And people, you've been able to use those, and I felt really good. Like,
I've gotten some great tag punchlines from those.
and the other
that
comics were doing it too. I mean, so like
Yeah.
that to me, it feels good.
I want to have that, and I also miss. They do it sometimes at the Creek in the Cave, but like an ad lib mic where you just get up and you get a topic. Like, I feel like that's so beneficial too.
Yeah, just riffing. And like also what I like is each of the comics that you see, they're looking at their mic and they're saying, what is the thing I think so important that people are not doing?
Right.
Like, I really like Candace's banana phone mic.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, okay, heckle us, because that's a thing that I think is really important.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to understand how to handle a heckle.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to do. And I thought, I need more punchlines. I'm going to do a punchline mic, you know, and like, you know, like Dave J. I want to be able to ad-lib more.
Right.
So I'm going to do that mic, you know.
Yeah.
And that's great. I mean,
Yeah, I got to start. You're inspiring me to give back and be a better steward of comedy.
well, you are giving back. I mean, you're giving opportunities for people to do this podcast. I mean,
That's true. I mean, this is huge for you. Like, you're going to see. You might blow up over this.
dude, my mom's going to see it. She's like,
Yeah?
wow, I didn't know you could kayak. I'm like, well, it's a canoe, Mom. You know.
Yeah, and I think we're going to make it out of here in one piece.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
very...
don't think we're going to. I feel good about us not sinking.
We'll see.
How do you feel?
I feel like confident, but also like I feel like my little stabilizer muscles are so tired now. Just
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Oh yeah.
We'll get out of here soon. I mean, we've done over an hour and a half, I think.
We haven't gotten into the meat of the matter.
What is it?
The big fat cock jokes. If I told you how that all came about, to me it's so fat. Okay. This is the creative process at work, okay? I was doing those, you know, the Riverside Screw Job, that one that Raymond and those guys put on.
Right.
And so it's a one-liner competition.
Yeah,
Well,
Buzzmill.
Yeah, and I went up the first time and I maybe got like 1 or 2 off, and then I was like, you know what? People don't my one-liners aren't that good. I need to do something really original, you know. So I thought, okay, what would be funny is I'm going to write jokes and all the punchlines are the same. So what could that be? And then I was like, okay, it would be really funny as if they were all dick jokes because that's so hack, you know.
Yeah.
So I started writing them, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to follow the same structure as the farts. I'm going to have an idiom in the beginning, and then I'm going to cut into big fat cock, and that's going to be all the jokes.
Yeah.
And they've just been very popular, you know. So but it's hard to say that you could just sit down and do it without thinking about some of the structural elements of comedy, you know.
Can you give us a little taste?
Oh,
of your
sure.
big fat cock.
Yeah. Do you know what do you call a rooster with diabetes? You know.
What do you call it?
It's a big fat cock.
Again.
But the other one is so you've heard the saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Uh-huh.
So then you add in, but it takes a lot longer when you're dragging a big fat cock. But right there, the reason, so those aren't just dick jokes in a sense. I mean, they are, but like what really drives them again is the subversion of expectations.
Right.
Between the idiom, which you've heard 1,000 times, and then big fat cock, you know.
Right.
It sounds like it belongs there almost, even though you would never make that connection in your own mind, you know.
Yeah. Can I try some?
Absolutely, go ahead.
What's black, white, and red all over?
I think the answer would probably be a dead baby in a microwave, but...
A big fat cock.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, that one wasn't that good.
Well, you gotta start with an idiom. One in the hand's worth two in the bush. Unless we're talking about big fat cocks.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood
Mm-mm.
because there was a big fat cock.
Well, no, so you could say, okay, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I chose the path that would lead to the big fat cocks.
Man, you're better than this. I suck. I quit.
All right, yeah, I guess I got a lock on those jokes, you know.
Yeah.
But also what drives them is the fact that I know it's stupid and the audience knows it's stupid, and I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And so I'm sort of like indicating to them that we're all just realizing this is so absurd.
Right.
I feel like that drives it more than the content in some sense. You know?
I think I heard that you just debuted on Kill Tony a week or two ago.
That is true. I was on there about a month ago, yeah.
Did it come out yet?
No, it was like a special one.
Right.
Well, I can't get over there because I have trivia on Mondays. You know?
Oh, but then they had the South by Southwest ones.
They did one on Tuesday and one on Wednesday, yeah.
How'd it go?
Well, so in my minute, I did 6 of those big fat cock jokes. And that was popular, you know.
Yeah.
And I had a decent interview, so yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I was really happy. And again, like, those guys are making opportunities for people. I mean,
I know, that's what I look at. I look at Kill Tony, and so many people, they want that to be what can blow them up because they see the, big possibilities, like what's happened with Hans Kim and things like that.
Sure, that's
and you're
good.
like, I want to be a regular, and like, but it's like, Kill Tony used to not exist, and Tony Hinchcliffe created that show, and it gave him opportunities by creating opportunities for other people.
Well, and his mandate there is just to make it available for people, I think, and then they're really giving people a unique opportunity to be seen. I mean, but it doesn't guarantee anything. I mean,
Right.
But none of this does. I mean, getting on there was a huge opportunity, but like, I woke up the next day and I was still as funny or not funny as I was the day before. I mean,
Right.
But other people have been able to do stuff with it. But
Yeah.
I'm still in the beginning stages. I
Right.
feel like,
Same. But I also think it's possible for us to make the next Kill Tony. Like, we don't have to get an opportunity through someone else. Like,
no.
Like there's gatekeepers or things. Like, you can make your own gate.
Well, that was something I listened to Jason Rouse one time, and I said, Jason, you've been doing comedy for quite some time. And he's like, yeah, like 20-some years or something. And I said, well, you don't seem bitter. You've been doing it, and I'm really impressed because a lot of the guys I see, they're bitter. They just hate it. They're sad, or they're just mad about the whole thing. What's the difference for you? And he goes, oh, well, I just don't wait for people to give me what I need. And so, like, he just puts his own things together, and that works for him. I mean, so I think we should all do that to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, that's what came about me starting a podcast. I was like, oh, I'd like to work on somebody's podcast or help produce somebody's podcast or something like that. And then I was like, well, I don't have any experience doing this. Who's going to hire me to do that?
Sure.
So I was like, well, let me just start my own podcast.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I didn't know how to make sketches, but I'm a big fan of Mad TV, and so I just started making them.
Yeah, your sketches are hilarious.
Thanks.
And you've gotten some that have gotten some big traction, right?
Well, so one video of all of them, it's got 750,000 views, and that was the fart candles. Yeah. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it didn't work either, but I mean, the fart candle, I was not able to put that into production. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I tried a couple different recipes, but
Well, yeah. Was it inspired by the vagina candle that Gwyneth Paltrow has? Are you familiar?
I have heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought it'd be funny, you know, like you got a fart scented candle, and you know, like the idea you're just gonna light it and it would just smell like farts. Like, what could be more idiotic? Why would you even want that? Like,
It's a really funny idea.
well, so my thought was a lot of these comics are selling merch, you know.
Right.
So I was like, what kind of a fart-based merch could I do? So I kind of thought the fart candle might be that, but then I actually
Yeah.
found these little flarp cups. They seem to work pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think both of our butts are getting sore.
So sore.
Is there anything else we should have talked about?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I think you're doing good in comedy, and I think I'm doing good. I mean, it's a long process.
I want to say that I am very appreciative of you
Thanks.
as a person in comedy, as a friend, as someone I can just talk to about stuff. And, selfishly, I'm thankful that you're one of the few people who's ever booked me on a show.
Oh, well, thanks.
And so that feels good. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that you've given me and for being a steward of comedy. And I think it means a lot to have you around, to me,
Well, thanks.
and to other people.
One, too, if they need help putting together a show, I'm definitely available to consult or do whatever. I mean,
Yeah, what's your consulting fee?
oh, nothing. I just like getting booked, But that's not the point either. I mean, I used to work with different producers. I still do. Like, some of the guys asked me, "Hey, can you come in bartend on Friday at our comedy show?" I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that because that doesn't bug. Like, people would be like, "Oh, you're just gonna that's a slight or something." It's like, no, I just like being in the scene too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun. I mean,
It's fun to go out. It beats staying home and watching Netflix.
one, too, like to think of it as a producer, it's good to watch how other people are producing.
Right.
Some people are doing it right and some are doing it wrong. I mean, you got to watch, and also some are doing it in a way that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the bar paying you a little bit and then you pay out people a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's easy. It's low risk. I don't have to put up a lot of money. But really the way to make more money is ticketed shows. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see how your ticketed show turns out. I'm sure it's going to be great.
we'll see.
And I can't wait to start strong arming you every week to say, book me on the fucking show. It's my I'm not even going to get booked on the show. I'm going to show up to your showcases and be like, I'm going out.
Perfect.
And
Well,
you're
then you
gonna
got
be like, yes, what do you need? I'm like, I want an hour. And you'll be like, okay.
like, the show's only a half hour. Okay, good. Hey, I tell you though, that's the way to do it. I mean, one, two. I mean, I'm just doing it.
Well, it's going to be good for me to strong arm you, and it's going to be good for you to practice saying no to people. You're going to have to say no to me.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I like saying yes. It's much easier. It doesn't bother me either. Like, if I had the ability to put up 100 people at the Lucky Duck, I would. If we could stay up until 5 in the morning, I would do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just want to have the time available, and it's fun to write tags. I mean,
But since you're willing to put up 100 people and wait for 100 people to go as a host,
sure.
shouldn't comics be willing to wait 100 people if you didn't sign up on time, or even if you're,
Well, they don't view it that way.
I know, but they should. I'm saying we got to instill this mentality in people and
When I was
stop
first,
getting people to be so disrespectful.
when I was first hosting, I thought, okay, if I give this person a bump on this mic, then they will maybe give me a favor in the future.
Right.
What actually happens is they go, I'm a level 6 comic, so therefore I earned this bump.
Right.
They don't think of it as a reciprocal, or some do and some don't. Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, it's like I can't be in charge of people's feelings and quirks and all that. I just, again, want to make the time available, try to treat people with courtesy, and even if they make me mad, actually making me mad is somewhat good, because again, my job as the host is to maintain my composure and to continue to entertain even in the face of stress,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning too when I do that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want people to sit there and do it all night, but it's good. It's good to manage it. There are things that are going to go wrong during all these shows, and you just got to be able to do it.
Yeah. Well,
Also, there's more important things that are going on than Lucky Duck.
that's right. That is true. That's what I tell myself too.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like there's so many other things going
Yeah,
on.
I know. Yeah, run your mic however the hell you want to, I guess.
One, too, that some people like it, some people hate it. And if I did it the opposite, it'd be totally different. I mean, there's no way to know. You just have to do it. I feel like it's something productive because I provide a good audience, and that's all I can do. That was my goal. I work for the bar, and I want to put on a good show so that I can get comics good stage time. And I'm achieving that, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I don't have to explain it to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I do constantly. They just don't listen.
Yeah. No, I did. I get it. I mean, there's still part of me that wishes that you wouldn't let people bump as much as they do, but I get it.
I get that all the time. But then people just start asking, and then they like it.
I did ask one time.
Yeah.
You know, I felt so bad, not to you, but to
Sure.
the other comics. That's who I feel bad. Like,
Well, I
because
just
I know
think-
there's some guys starting out who just.
Well, and they don't
Showed
understand
up.
the customs of the mic, and they need to learn too. I mean, I don't want to. If somebody tells me it's their first time, I try to make an accommodation. But after that, it's like, you got to become a wolf a little bit.
Do you?
I mean, you don't have to. But I just think in that situation,
Alden, the non-wolf who says you got to be a wolf.
it is certainly a contradiction. No, but my view is different. Again, I like hosting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's painful for me to sit there and just like not host.
Yeah.
Well, and also I have another advantage. I don't have to be anywhere generally. So like somebody, a lot of these comics actually do have legitimate things they need to get to, like bed. They have work in the morning.
Right.
Like, sometimes I forget that, where I'm just like, I don't have to be anywhere the rest of my life, really.
Right.
So like, that's something that.
But that's the sacrifice. I mean, you can't.
I'm
like,
not gonna go up and be insistent, I guess, because I legitimately don't have anything I should be doing. I mean, other than that mic. I mean.
Yeah. We all got shit, dude. Everybody's got shit. That's why I don't like making accommodations for people. Because that's the sacrifice,
Sure.
Like if you want to do what you do and have freedom,
Mm-hmm.
there's a sacrifice. Live in your car.
Sure.
I'm not willing to live in my car, and so I got to wake up at 7:30 to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
And so that costs me. Sometimes I gotta go to sleep at 2 a.m. and then wake up at 7.
Yeah.
But that's the sacrifice I make.
Sure.
Or I don't do the mic.
Right. Well, I don't have to make those accommodations because, like, I basically gave my life over to comedy a couple years ago. So, like,
Yeah.
all of my time is for that. I mean,
Was there like a decision for that? Like, did you think about it? Like,
oh yeah.
because you were starting to dabble into comedy. Was there a time when you were like, all right, I'm going all in?
Well, a real inflection point for me, or like the two roads, if you will, is I was gonna make a larger trivia business.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna hire other hosts, and I have it be a larger business.
Yeah.
And that was gonna be my livelihood, and I decided I didn't want to do that because what I really liked about trivia was performing, doing the hosting.
Yeah.
And so for me to do that as a larger business, I would have to quit hosting.
Uh-huh.
And I realized that was not going to happen. So then I was like, well, maybe what I like about trivia is the performing.
Mm.
So then I thought, well, what are some other ways to perform? And that's how I started getting more into stand-up. I mean, and now I'm just like the afflicted. I mean,
It's awesome. You're an inspiration to me, Alden.
well, thanks. Someday you can grow a beard like this.
Probably not, dude. I still can't get a beard. I'm 25. It's embarrassing.
Ah,
mean, you've had a beard since you were, what, 6?
No, I had goatees different times, mustaches. Only since I moved down here did I really grow a beard.
Yeah. Want to promote anything?
Yeah, I do trivia on Monday and Tuesday, and Lucky Duck on Wednesday, and Indian Roller on Thursday, and I do the Sand Jack every other Sunday, and Connect 4 tournament once a month. And if you want me to write jokes for you, I'll be happy to do that for no cost. I just like writing jokes, so let me know. I'll write them. You know what else is fun? Doing the jokes.
Write me some jokes, please.
What topic do you got in mind?
I'm trying to write more stuff that's like personal to me.
Oh, you need to do that. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're just doing anything that's something that Jerry Seinfeld said a bunch of times. To really be a success is you got to do a joke that other people can't do,
right?
Because it's so tied into your life or your views. That's vital.
It's hard for me to think about. I can look at other comedians and their stories and their everything and be like, oh, this is what's unique about them. But it's hard for me to look at myself and say what is unique about me, or what. Like, I just think about me as just being like normal in so many ways. Like I you know.
But you know what's really funny, and we all have this, failures. If you go through your life and list your failures,
right,
there's a start,
That's a good, yeah.
Because that's funny, and also it's not going to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right, make fun of myself and the stupid shit I've done.
It's self-deprecating, and it's very funny.